I'm here with Sanjoy from AskSid. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rachel.
Tell us a little bit about the company.
Really, AskSid, it's a conversational AI solution, but verticalized for retail and consumer goods. So we don't do travel, insurance, etc. And it's really the story of my wife. A few years back, we were settling down in Netherlands. My wife, Dolly, she gets a job in Netherlands, which means she has to wear business formals, so skirt, blouse, jackets. Super cold country, especially us coming from India. And to make it a bit more complicated, she was pregnant. A very simple need in life came up. I need to buy a pair of tights to keep my legs warm. So we go to this big brand's web shop. First problem, 400 tights staring at her. She has no clue which is the right one. She starts going through the tights. Second problem, she has several questions about these tights. Now questions like, I know I'm pregnant, does it absorb moisture? You can imagine last time you bought anything online, we don't find answers very easily. Yeah. Whereas the brand on the other side must be having all the answers. And that's essentially what we try and solve for global brands. How we do, we take the product data from the brand using AI, using machine learning. We build a knowledge base about these products, so questions, answers, attributes, etc. Yeah. So that when Dolly comes to shop, first, she is served with only 20 tights that are suitable for pregnant mothers. And second, when she has a question, she gets instant answers.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about where you are at the stage of your company. How many people have you got? What's your investment like?
So we started 2.5 years back. We are based in India.
Yep.
We are around 12 people now.
Yep.
But very happy to say that we have got some of the best global brands as our customers. We are live in around 20 countries. Supporting 15 plus international languages.
Amazing.
And most of our traction is from Europe. So we have some of the, a couple of great fashion brands, one in Austria, one in Switzerland. And now we are really in the stage where we want to scale up our business. We believe that we have got the product market fit. We have got a bunch of happy customers. Mm-hmm. And now it's really about getting out there and growing.
You've mentioned a number of great customers that you're working with. I guess, what's the one thing that surprises the most when you've demoed or pitched your solution to them?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing that works in our favor is the problem that we are solving. Because so far, whenever we have gone to a global brand, most of these brands are immediately able to relate to this problem. And that really strikes out, because if you talk about conversational AI, you think of automation, you think about automating repetitive tasks, but not really going and building out this product knowledge base and helping the brand improve their P&L, as in make more money, rather than just help them save cost.
And what's the vision for you, or what does 2-3 years ahead look like? Have you got plans to move into other industries, or is it staying in the same industry but really transforming more?
We had to make a choice that conversational AI, do we go horizontal or do we go vertical? We made a choice that we are going to go vertical simply because the verticalization brings out the differentiation. Yeah. There are scores of chatbot companies, conversational companies out there. So to answer your question, next 2 to 3 years, I think we are still going to stick to retail and consumer goods because the market size is big market. Like, our calculation is like $3 billion plus.
Right.
But in the near future, or maybe in the far future, I do see that, we will have similar verticals. Because the same problem is equally applicable while buying insurance policies or even booking your travel ticket, right? Yeah. For the moment, it's retail and consumer goods. And the goal is to hit 100 million ARR in 7 years. Mm-hmm. We have got 2 years off, so we have 5 more years. Yeah. And let's see whether we can get there.
Amazing. So you've taken this journey, great personal story to obviously build the company. What's the biggest challenge you think you've faced so far?
Essentially, we put a lot of focus on getting product market fitment, focusing on customers, the initial customers up front, and trying to do all this with a very lean team, the 12 people. Yeah. I think where we missed the boat was we need to raise the seed fund early on. And honestly, it's first 2 years we never even bothered about it. So we are like, bootstrapped. We have got a great bunch of angel investors back home in India. Yeah. But now having reached here, I think that that would have been something that if we had focused early on, and at least raised a seed fund of $1 million, $1.5 million, that would have aided us now. But currently, as I speak, I am in the process of raising the seed fund, and raising money is the challenge.
And throughout that challenge, obviously with the lean team, did you find that perhaps, most startups, 24/7 really on it? Was the team mainly developers? Was it or sales? How were you structuring your team to cope with that?
Sure. So we are two co-founders. One is me. I am a sales guy. I've been in the tech industry for 20 years, but sales. I have not done coding. My code never worked. My co-founder, Dinesh Sharma, he is the CTO and 20 years in tech. So he has been an enterprise architect. So I think between the two of us, right from day one, we had a great skill complementing each other. The team is largely an engineering-driven team as of now. But then in this phase, we are also looking to hire salespeople and more importantly, marketing people, brand people. Because that's something we never bothered to think of so far. But now we need to.
And obviously, coming back to your point around, the challenge with investing, are you looking for investment still within your local country, or are you expanding your view around investors in other markets?
Yeah, so I think we are based in India, which straight away puts me into a constraint that the investor needs to come from India, at least in the seed fund stage. But very happy to share that Coca-Cola also decided to participate in this round.
Fantastic.
When they are coming from Australia. But then, yes, we are looking to expand, and probably I think in the next Series A round that we want to do in 12 months, 18 months time, that would be the time to tap into capital from outside.
So you've started the journey, you're now moving on to the next stage, perhaps foreseen some challenges. A question, I guess, for the audience to understand as well is, what brought you to Microsoft? We've been building this partnership together. Where did that come from?
Yeah, so like I said, I have spent 20 years in the tech industry, so I know, how it works, etc. Now, on day one, we betted on Microsoft, and Rachel, quite honestly, for two reasons. One is obviously the tech part. I'm not a tech guy, so I'll stay away from why your tech is the best, but believe me, it is. That's what Dinesh tells me. But I am going to tell you about the go-to-market side of it. Because today, if I look back, so we are IP co-sell partner of Microsoft. The kind of help that I get from the startup help desk team and also the sellers on the ground is phenomenal, and I can vouch that no one else can probably come anywhere close. Just to give you a couple of examples, I'm based in India. But then your sellers in, for example, Switzerland is sharing intel about this specific account. This specific person is looking for something like this. That's really one of the best things that has happened so far.
And in that working, has it helped you think about how you set up the next phase of your sales team, how you think about executing go-to-market differently?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's a ton of exposure that we are getting. And again, we are selling a global product, and selling to individual countries has its own nuances. So a lot of coaching that I get from your sellers in Switzerland, in Austria, in Netherlands, in UK, about what works in that market and what does not. And that really is making me a far better professional. Because otherwise, if I am on my own, I don't think I would have ever got there.
That's really great to hear. It's nice to know any form of partnership can add that learning and collaboration.
Absolutely.
And are you thinking about perhaps, obviously we talked about kind of very direct sales right now. Is there a possibility or an option for you to think around selling through a channel?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So that's really the next phase. So in our next phase of growth, direct selling is definitely the part of it. But then being a product company based in India, it is all about indirect selling. And that's where the channel partnership. So I'm learning that game, and I'm happy that Microsoft is teaching me that game. So
thank you for your time
and
your partnership, and safe travels back.